Hello guys, welcome or welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm here with you with a new video known as monetary policies. We have total three policies to learn in this whole syllabus, but one of them is monetary policy that we're going to cover it today. And yeah, so let's not waste any more time and get into the video. By the way, my name is Dwaj Jain. If you are new to my YouTube channel, so in this video, we are going to learn about money supply, definitions and types of money supply or measures of money supply, monetary policies and everything related to it. How are these monetary policies imposed? Then effect on government aims. What are the effect of a monetary policy on the government aim if it is imposed? Okay, so let's get into the video. Before we start the video, let's just subscribe to my YouTube channel and press the bell icon so that you are aware of my new videos. And yeah, money supply. So what is money supply? Money supply, the money supply is the total amount of money in circulation or the money in an economy at one time. Okay, so for example, what is the uh, total amount of money in the economy at this very moment? So that is known as money supply. Money supply can include cash, coins, balances, bank accounts, and everything like that. Okay, so there are number of measures of money supply. One of them is narrow measures, which contains or consists of coins, notes, current accounts. Okay, so they are these narrow measures or coins, notes, current accounts are held in commercial banks and concentrates on money that is primarily used for medium of exchange. Okay, so all of these are used for medium of exchange, or yeah, like you take this money and you pay uh, for a product, for example. Okay, so that's basically medium of exchange. We have done medium of exchange in money and banking chapter. I will put the link to that video in this video. Okay, the next measure is the broad measures, which consist of coin, notes, deposit accounts, and current accounts. Um, so, money used as a medium of exchange and store of value. So they are, yeah, so they are primarily used for medium of exchange and store of value, as I said, and that's it. So these are the two types of measures. There won't be many questions on narrow measures and broad measures. Might come for 2 marks at most, okay, or 4 marks for explaining both of them. Next, we have monetary policy. Uh, what is monetary policy? It is decision to control the aggregate demand and money supply by the rate of interest and exchange rate. Okay, so let me just explain you. Okay, there in a market there might be excess demand, or there might be lack of demand in the market. Okay, so we need to control this demand in order to get a market failure free economy or market. Okay, so decision to control the aggregate demand and money supply. So for that, buy rate of interest and exchange rate, so that is known as monetary policy. Next, we have why is it imposed, or why is it done to alter the aggregate demand in the country in order to achieve government aims. So there are like specific government aims that government might want to achieve. For example, economic growth, low unemployment, redistribution of income, or balance of payment stabilized. Okay, so they might aim for all of these government aims. Next, we have by whom is it imposed. The government of the country or the central bank of the country imposes the monetary policy. That's easy to understand. So yeah, next we have how is it done. How is monetary policy actually imposed? So we have a change in money supply. So when there is change in money supply, there might be an imposition of monetary policy in the economy. Okay, I'm just going to read this out for you. Changing money supply, the central bank can print more money, issue more banknotes, or it can take away them or reduce them by printing or issuing less banknotes. It can buy government bond. This will give commercial banks to lend or removing any restriction on bank lending. This will increase consumer spending and borrowing. An increase in consumer spending and investment will lead to increase in aggregate demand, which will increase the output. So the main aim of the economy or the government was to increase or decrease aggregate demand. So when you reread this once more, you will understand that how is it done. Okay, so the central bank might, for example, let's just take an example that it might be issuing less banknotes. Okay, if it issues less banknotes, then the government bonds will not be affordable, or we cannot buy government bonds. So this will restrict commercial banks to lend money and will lower the consumer spending and borrowing. So, and decrease in consumer spending and investment will lead to decrease in aggregate demand, which will decrease the output. So you can see they have controlled, or they have adjusted the aggregate demand, which is the main aim of monetary policy. Okay, so look, this is really nice flow chart by www.economicshelp.org. I will link this in my description. Go and check it out. Um so monetary policy by interest rate. So over here, higher interest rate reduces demand and lowers inflation. Okay, and lower interest rates increase consumer spending and investments. Decreasing money supply decreases demand, and increasing money supply increases demand and investment. So over here, if we have higher rate of interest, then people will borrow less from the bank to avoid paying more at the end. Okay, so they will borrow less. If they borrow less, the demand will of course fall because the consumer spending is low, and if there is less spending in the market, the inflation rate will come down. Okay, lower interest rates, it's just the same or vice versa as higher interest rates. Lower interest rates, people will borrow more, consumer spending increases, demand increases, and this leads to uh, economic growth or avoids recession. Okay, decrease in money supply, if the country or the economy has lower money supply, um, then there would be lower consumer spending leading to lower aggregate demand. If the money supply increases, higher consumer spending, higher aggregate demand and investment. Okay, so I'm just going to explain it once more over here. If central bank increases the rate of interest, ROI means rate of interest, just written in short form. If the central bank increases the rate of interest, then commercial banks will increase the rate of interest. Yes, reducing disposable money or borrowed money. Expenditure of the consumers will fall and aggregate demand will fall. This okay, so this was change in rate of interest from one point of view. Of course, if the rate of interest increased by central government, then the aggregate demand will fall because the commercial banks will also have to increase the rate of interest because they have to make profits. Okay, this will reduce the disposable money, or for example, if you borrow $1,000 from a bank, and if the rate of interest is higher, then you have to pay 1200 at the end. But if it's lower, then you have to pay only 1100. So the disposable income would be lower, okay, or the borrowed money would be lower. Expenditure of consumers will decrease because the money supply is lower. That's why, and the aggregate demand will reduce. Can happen in three ways. Household will have to pay more interest on past borrowings. For example, today I borrow 100 rupees from a bank, and tomorrow the central bank increases the rate of interest from 5% to 10%. Then I have to pay more, like on the third day. Okay, so I've, instead of paying 105 rupees, I would have to pay 110 rupees because the rate of interest has increased. Uh, will make borrowing for financing difficult. Of course, if you're borrowing money for financing, it will make it difficult because you have to pay more afterwards. So you won't borrow much from the bank. So it will make it difficult for financing your business or anything. Interest increases, savings increases. Yes, if interest rate increases, people will save more in order to gain more at the end. Okay, opportunity of saving is spending and investment decreases, leading to lower aggregate demand and output. So see what has happened. So if savings increase, spending decreases, lower aggregate demand and output. The main aim of changing the aggregate demand has been achieved. Okay, so this is another flowchart from the same website, www.economicshelp.com, sorry .org. um, Increased cost of borrowing reduce investment, lower economic growth. Increased mortgage interest payments reduces consumption, lower economic growth. uh, Increased return to saving, reduced consumption because you are saving more, and will lead to lower economic growth. Okay, um, hot money flow, appreciation in exchange rate, and lower inflation. Hot money flow and appreciation in exchange rate will be taught to you in other chapters. This is not for you right now. Okay, so what will happen? How can we impose monetary policy by changing the exchange rate? The government may instruct the central bank to change the foreign exchange rate or to influence it to move in one direction. The, they mainly will reduce the strength of their own country currency. This will make imports expensive and exports cheaper. This will increase the international demand for exports. This will increase the aggregate demand for country. Okay, let's take two countries for example. Okay, the Vietnam and let's take USA. Vietnam and USA. If Vietnam decides to reduce its strength of its own currency, which is Vietnamese rupees, if I'm not wrong, um, so if it reduces the strength of Vietnamese rupees, US government will find importing US government will find importing cheaper from Vietnam. Okay, and Vietnam will find export uh, importing from USA expensive. Okay, so yeah, so Vietnam's imports will get expensive and its exports will get cheaper. Vietnam's exports will get cheaper. So if anything is cheaper, people will buy more. The other countries will import more from Vietnam because their exports are cheaper. So this will increase the demand for their exports. This will increase the aggregate demand for the country. Main aim, adjusting aggregate demand, has been achieved. Okay. Okay, now effects of monetary policy on government aims. There are two types of monetary policy: expansionary monetary policy and contractionary monetary policy. Okay, so expansionary monetary policy causes economic growth and low unemployment. Price and contractionary monetary policy causes price stability. Now, what is expansionary monetary policy? So, in expansionary monetary policy, the government has to reduce the rate of interest and increase the money supply. So, when this happens, the aggregate demand of the for the country will increase, and the prices in general will fall. You see, higher money supply will lead to more consumer spending. Consumer spending leads to higher aggregate demand. Rate of interest falls. Then businesses can borrow more from the banks. This will lead to lower cost of production and lower prices. So I'm just going to explain you this once again. So for the prices fall due to rate of interest in the and its value falls due to more money supply. Low prices also influence the demand. So if there are low price in the market, then the demand will also increase. That's obvious. So I will link that demand chapter also in this. Okay, so the if money supply increases, the value of the product will decrease. For example, I have a chocolate worth 100 rupees, but people have more money. Like, instead of me having 200 rupees, I have 400 rupees. So now I can buy four more chocolates from that chocolate bars. Okay, so the value of that money has reduced, so prices has fallen. Contractionary monetary policy is vice versa. Rate of interest increases and money supply decreases. They have to do it. The government has to increase rate of interest and decrease money supply. Decrease money supply, lower consumer spending, lower aggregate demand. Okay, lowers money supply, the value of the product or the currency will increase. And if the rate of interest is higher, borrowing is expensive, higher cost of production, higher prices set by the businesses. This will lead to higher prices. Higher prices leads to lower demand. So that's contractionary monetary policy. As the name suggests, expansionary means more or expand. So expansion in aggregate demand or increase in aggregate demand, and contractionary by itself means decrease in aggregate demand. Okay. So as we all know, if you guys haven't forgotten, we have question sessions uh, at the end of the video. Okay. So the first question is define monetary policy, and second is explain two monetary policy measures. Define monetary policy. Monetary policy is the decision to control aggregate demand and money supply by rate of interest and exchange rate. Okay, that's monetary policy. The definition is more than enough. Explain two monetary policy measures. Narrow measures, which consist of coins, notes, current accounts used for medium of exchange. 2 marks there. Broad measures, second point, which is broad measures, uh, consist of coins, notes, deposit accounts, and current accounts, money used as medium of exchange and store of value, both. That's 4 marks right there. Okay, so I have given you over here the thing. This is another answer. Okay, I gave one answer. The For the second question, this is the other answer. Okay. Analyze how change in foreign exchange rate can change the aggregate demand in the country. This is the model answer. Okay, 6 marks right there. Change in foreign exchange rate can change the aggregate demand of the country. Increase in foreign exchange rate means that the native currency has strengthened. This will make all exports expensive for foreign countries. This will reduce aggregate demand for the country. Decrease in foreign exchange rate means that the native currency has weakened. This will make imports expensive and exports cheaper. This will increase both domestic and international demand, increasing aggregate demand of the country. Okay, thank you so much. If you have any doubt, you can email me, you can uh, DM me on Instagram or Twitter. Okay, and yeah, now there is one more activity that I want to do with you all, which is this. If you can see, yeah, so this is a monetary policy tracker, SFR, Global Monetary Policy Tracker. Over here you can look at the information about the monetary policies in different countries. Like this is Russia, and they talk about the growth rate because of the monetary policy, the inflation, and all of it. It of course it gives you the present information about the country. When was the last move, or what was the last action, monetary policy action, when was it taken, and all of that. I will link the thing in the description. Just look for it. Okay, thank you so much, and I will meet you afterwards or the next video. Okay, bye guys.